Hey folks, it's Kat and welcome back to another walk and talk video. Today I'm out with my little walk. It is frosty in Scotland today. So we're just having like a little walk. She gets cranky after lunchtime and before dinner, so try and get her out for a walk, calm her down. She does not like getting into her snowsuit. Oh, there's a little robin over there. Just turn the camera. See it? Let's see if I can spot it on the way past. I don't know if you saw it up in there in the bush. So I wanted to talk about a few things. It's like completely dead up here this time of day with this weather, pretty much. I know I've not posted a video in a while. The last one was, I think it was just after her first birthday. Since then, not on YouTube, but on other sort of social media areas. I need to put my glove back on. I've had a few negative comments about some stuff that I wanted to go over. Hold on, guys. That I wanted to go over. Now, if you've not been here before, I am a trained nursery teacher. I have the qualifications for that. I went to college, I did all that. So I am trained to teach kids from 0 to 5. I'm also trained in typical developmental milestones from 0 to 5. And obviously red flags to look out for with regards to safeguarding issues and obviously developmental delays. So that is my professional background. As a parent, I already have two, an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old, autistic children in the house. Now, one is also learning disabled and all the associated things that come with that. Oh, there's another little robin on the fence sitting. I can't change it with my gloves on. Show you guys as we walk past. I don't know if you can see it over there. He's just sitting on that fence. There he is, coming to say hello. I can't zoom in right now. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. So obviously, just putting my gloves back on before I turn these around. Oh, actually I need back on. That wasn't a pretty smart move. So I have, just to give you an inkling that I have some understanding of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. Now, we've been, because we're in Scotland, we get a health visitor up till the kid is 5 years old, just to make sure like they're developing properly and everything else. Now, when the health visitor came out to do Eowyn's 12-month ASQ, it's a developmental questionnaire assessment thing. I need to watch, there's a lot of black ice around here. She scored absolutely 0 for communication, problem solving skills, socialisation, developmental stages. And obviously the health visitor saw some stimming that I had described to her on the phone. So it's not in my head. I'm not looking for zebras when I hear horse-hoofs, to put it in like that sort of explanation. I was asked by the health visitor, because I didn't think they'd do anything at the minute, to contact speech and language team, which is SALT, speech and language therapy, to contact the SALT department to just put on the record of the concerns that we're having, that if obviously things don't drastically improve in the next couple of months, that Eowyn will be referred to community child health, i.e. paediatrician, at 14 months. So we've just had her another 12-month review form, which is the same one we've already done, but I filled it in anyway just for paperwork things, because we filled it in while the health visitor was there assessing her at the time. And we also got sent out her 13 to 14 month ASQ. Now this is the one that if she shows a lot of delayed development, she will be referred to community child health, the paediatrician. I'm just going to refer to them as the paediatrician from now on. Now, filling out the 12-month one was quite emotional. I didn't get emotional while the health visitor was there. I was quite my usual bravado. This is fine, everything's fine, it's going to be fine. Filling out the 14-month one really hit hard, because looking at that form, it breaks it down into developmental stages. So if you don't know, there's social development, we go for speckle: social, physical, emotional, cognitive and language. Now, she has scored nothing for communication, so language or social development, and nothing for problem solving, which is the cognitive side of things. Her gross and fine motor skills seem to be at the age and stage of development that it should be, which is the same as it was with my other two children. Now, when I contacted the speech and language department, this was previous to getting the 13 to 14 month ASQ form, just this, because I have a history, because of my previous profession, my knowledge, as both a parent of autistic children and as a practitioner, there is nothing they can tell me at this stage that I don't already know, that I'm not already implementing. I'm already implementing, well, there's loads of birds out today. I'm already implementing, they're not robins, they're like little black and orange type ones. I don't know if we'll get no, they're away. Yeah, I'm already implementing PECS, which is picture exchange communication, although she is not taking to that. I didn't expect her to, because my son didn't take to that at this age and stage. And I'm also implemented sign language. Now, in the house, I'm trying to lean more towards BSL with Eowyn, but I know that as she gets older, when she goes to nursery and school, it is mainly Makaton that they use. So in the house, we use a combination of sign along Makaton and BSL signs. So I can show teachers and other practitioners what signs we specifically use when it comes to that stage, if her speech has not developed, which it hasn't currently. So, but I felt very patronised, and that the therapist that I know, that I've talked to previously, that has worked with some of my other children, feels that because my other two are autistic, that I am looking for concerns to be concerned about. Now, no parent on the face of this earth wants their child to be disabled. No parent. Unless it's you're in the situation between, like my mother was put in. I'm just going to use my mum as an example, because I'm sure other parents have been put in this position. I'm just fixing her blanket. That she was told that I would either be stillborn, or completely learning disabled. So in that situation, obviously a parent might want to opt for having their child alive but disabled, which, I wouldn't be without my children, no matter how they are. Everybody, I do not judge other people if they find out they are pregnant with a disabled child and choose not to continue the pregnancy. That is their choice. I make no judgments on it. I will keep whatever, personal opinions I have to myself, because anyone in that situation, my heart goes out to you. But anyway, as I digress, I was actually going to walk down that bit, and now I can't. I'm gonna have to go all the way around now. See what's going on. So I can't walk down that anymore. So yeah, I felt very patronised, as if they were trying to tell me, you're just looking for things to be concerned about. Now, I went into this pregnancy very practically, knowing the chances that having a third child and having two with autism, there was, even the pediatrician said this while I was pregnant, because like we made a joke about it. It's like, yeah, well, I'll be here in a year's time. That when obviously she said, do you know there's a high chance that this one might be autistic as well? I'm like, well, thanks for that. But yeah, we know and knew the chances of what we were getting into, and we would not have continued it had we thought, that we could not handle another child on the spectrum. Now, and I do apologise if there's autistics watching this. I am trying to correct my grammar. I am used to, because of my profession, I am used to using, a child with autism, person with autism, blah, 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 language, as opposed to, there's a bloody rabbit over there, as opposed to autistics and, that sort of language. So that is something I'm trying to work on in my personal life. If I was in a professional setting, obviously I would still have to use the latter, because that's policy, unfortunately. My personal views on that are to let the autistic decide how they would like to be referred to, whether it's autistic person or person with autism. But anyway, we'll get to that another. I actually had a grievance with one of my tutors when I was becoming a nursery teacher about that. But anyway, we knew the chances. As I said in my previous videos, if you've not watched them, you can go back and see my other walk and talk videos, that I wanted to enjoy the first year of her life without worrying about it, and that's what we did, to the best of our ability. After she turned 1, everything changed. Like, we saw the signs before she turned 1. She was stimming, her language is not developing, cognitively she's not developing. We saw all of that. I'm actually just going to turn around and go back the way I came. Yeah, because I don't want to walk through a housing estate while talking about this stuff. So we saw all of that, but put it to one side, wanted to enjoy her being a baby for the first year of her life. Since then, we knew what was coming. And I know a lot of professionals out there, myself included, would have to question the viability of the parents' concern, like specifically if they had a history of having another 2 children diagnosed. Are they just seeing signs where there aren't any? I get that, I do. But in their profession as SALT, they do not have, the questions that they were asking me were completely unrelated to speech and language therapy. And some of the stuff that they said was completely unrelated to speech and language therapy. And although I knew and she knew that there is nothing that can be done at this point, that it was just to put on record, personally to me it felt like she was under the assumption that I was doing this because I saw signs, and basically that was all in my head. That's the feeling that I got. That might not be how she meant it. Like, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and assume that that is not the way that she meant it to come across. Is she asleep? She's asleep. He's a sleepy girl. I don't know if he's... I know. Hold on. I'm just going to put her buggy down. You know, as someone that's worked with parents and children, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that that's not the way she intended it to come across. And also say that obviously I'm dyslexic and sometimes I take things the way that they are not meant to be intended, but the way it came across to me was very patronising, and that I was looking for signs and that I was wanting her to be on the spectrum. Now, I've said before, whether she's autistic, neurotypical, purple, green or rainbow, I don't care. She is who she is. She's going to be who she's going to be, whether that's autistic, neurotypical or otherwise. Makes no difference to me. The only thing I need support with is the fact she is developmentally delayed. I see it. Yes, I'm her mother, and a parent's perspective, despite their professional background, to a professional's perspective, apparently means hee-haw, which is completely wrong, because I have not personally been in a MAP meeting, a multi-agency planning meeting, where I have felt degraded or dehumanized or not believed by the professionals there. But people do. I spoke to a parent the other day who was waiting for assessment from community child health, and they had meetings at the school and such. This was another professional parent who had worked in the industry, and was told in the notes of the meetings that mum's very emotional, mum's very overwhelmed, mum's this, mum's that. And I think that is not appropriate way to describe a parent, especially a parent that has a professional background, that knows their area of expertise. Now, I did not want to take my own opinion of what I was seeing as a be-all fact, because what I perceive as truth and what is actually truth are two different things. As I said, the way I perceived what the soul said to me was very patronising. The way that came across may not have been meant, may not be the way that she perceived that conversation to go. So, you know, there's my opinion, their opinion, and the truth. So, I have gotten a second opinion from the health visitor. I'm not just saying this is what I see, blah, blah, blah. She has seen this too. She has been there when Eowyn has been stimming and exhibited other actions and shown that she is not developmentally progressed as she should be. She is developmentally delayed, cognitively, socially, and has language delays. That we know of. At the minute, she would not be classed as globally developmentally delayed because her growth and fine motor skills do seem to be on par, which is fine. My son wasn't diagnosed with GDD until he was about 6 or 7. Now, that was about 4 years after his ASD diagnosis, because his physical development didn't degrade till that point. So, despite the fact he's hypermobile, he was still able to do X, Y, Z up until that point. But she exhibits not as extreme behaviours as her brother. When my son was younger, he was head banging, ear flapping a lot more, very distressed about a lot of things, a lot of meltdowns. But I think part of the reason why she is not so evident is because we know better now. We have put things in place for her so that the communication frustration is lessened, despite the fact that she cannot communicate to us her needs and wants. When she's in her high chair wanting to get down from her breakfast, lunch or dinner, obviously she cannot ask to get down. She screams. Now, when I sign to her down, she calms immediately. Like beforehand, when I started doing that, she would not calm down because she didn't understand what down meant. Now she understands what down means. She screams. I sign down to her. She calms down because she knows I'm going to let her out. That's the way that goes. She's going to get what she wants. And obviously back when my son was younger, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know anything about autism. So I think part and parcel of the reason why she doesn't exhibit extreme behaviour as him is because of the stuff that we've already put in place as parents to support her. I do have it in the back of my mind, and other parents will too, that what if I'm wrong? What if I'm just seeing these things and she's actually okay? What if this is normal? This is not normal. I will not be gaslit by other professionals to say that this is normal. After being told, oh, she might develop a bit more in a few months. Yes, she may, and I would completely be over the moon with that. I do not want her to struggle developmentally. Why would I want that? Why on earth would anybody want to watch their child struggle through that? Why? Please give me a answer. I can. I'm getting cramp in my calf now. Right. I'm going to end this here because I'm about to go through another residential area. But yeah, it just blows my mind that some people that I have had obviously a parent to professional relationship with before would say these sort of things. I do understand that she's young, and I do understand that, right, I'm going to say this before I go off. I have been told by the health visitor, personally, by our health visitor, that the health visiting team is not, or does not, want to refer kids for assessment at this age, at her age, despite the fact that she's showing signs. She will be referred for assessment. I have complete faith in our health visitor. She's already told us, she believes what we're saying. She has seen her own signs. She will be referred for assessment. Plus, I already know the paediatrician that my other two have that she will likely be referred to. She will be referred. I will make damn sure of that. Now, but they're not referring some other children that are exhibiting signs because they're leaving them till they're in primary school to refer them, which boggles my mind because we are taught early intervention is key. Now, if early intervention is so important, why are children being left till they're in primary school to seek assessment and support, knowing that assessment takes years? This is not like a fast process. This is a very slow, grueling process of many professionals doing many assessments over a good couple of years. I mean, depending on the level of development the child has. Now, if you're talking about someone like my daughter who wasn't put up for assessment till she was 6 years old, if it wasn't for the sake of our paediatrician, she would have spent years and years and years on CAMS waiting for assessment, and then probably be refused because she is too intelligent, she exhibits eye contact and all that stuff. She wouldn't even have gotten within a sniff of a decent psychological evaluation. And she could have really done with that early intervention. It is the kids that are in mainstream that, like, the ones that are coping, that do seem to struggle more within schools and stuff. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that right now. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't before, and I'll catch you next one. Goodbye.